In this video, we will look at solving algebraic equations when we have a constant as the denominators. So what that means is that we have normal numbers on the bottom of the fractions. So what we do, just like we always have done with fractions when we wanted to add or subtract, we need to get a lowest common denominator. So we must have a look at what all the denominators are. So if we have a look at question 1, we can see our denominators are 2, 4, and then 3 is a whole number, and any whole number is a fraction over 1. So we must add that in ourselves. So then we must decide what is the smallest number that 2, 4 and 1 all divide into. And our lowest common denominator here is 4. Then what we must do is we take each denominator separately. So we have 3 separate fractions here in the equation. So we take 2, the first one. So we say 2 divides into the lowest common denominator 4 twice. And then we're going to multiply it by the numerator of that fraction, which is t minus 3 plus. Next fraction, 4 divides into 4 once. Multiply that by the numerator. And then don't forget about the rest of the fraction. So equals 1 divides into 4 4 times, multiplied by the numerator, which is 3. Then at this stage now, we've got brackets, which mean multiplication on top, and we can drop our denominator now to give us a single line equation. So if we say 2 times t is 2t, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 2t is 2t, 1 times 3 is 3, equals 4 times 3 is 12. So now we're back to solving linear equations. So I want to add up all my variables, so all my t's, add up all my constants, all my normal numbers, and isolate t on one side, non-numbers on the other. So I have 2t plus 2t gives me 4t. Minus 6 plus 3 gives me minus 3 equals 12. I'm now going to get all my t's to one side, normal numbers on the other. So bring over that minus 3 gives me plus 3. So that leaves me with 4t equals 12 plus 3, which is 15. Divide both sides down by the coefficient, and we have t equals 15 over 4, and that is the value of t for that equation. So let's look at question 2, and you see I follow the same steps each time. So I recognize I have fractions. I want to solve for x, therefore I must find the lowest common denominator. So let's see what denominators we do have. We've got 5, 4 and 10. So we must decide what's the smallest number 5, 4 and 10 divide into. And that would be 20. So then taking each fraction and each denominator separately, we're going to divide them into the fraction. So 5 divides into 20 4 times, multiplied by the numerator. 4 divides into 20 5 times, multiplied by the numerator. And 10 divides into 20 twice, multiplied by the numerator. So again at this stage now, we can drop our lowest common denominator of 20, which will give us a single line equation, and we're going to multiply out the brackets to simplify. So 4 times x is 4x, 4 times minus 2 is minus 8, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times minus 3 is minus 15, and 2 times 11 is 22. So at this stage now, we want to again add up all our like terms. So I've got 4x plus 5x gives me 9x, and I've got minus 8 minus 15 which gives me minus 23. And I still have the 22 on this side, so now I'm going to get all my x's, variables on one side, and gather all my constants to the other. So moving that minus 23 over becomes plus 23, which leaves me with 9x equals 45. Divide both sides by the coefficient. That'll leave me with x equals 5. So again, let's try all that again, following the same steps for question 3. So it says solve the following equations to solve for x. So just move it up a little bit. So again, recognize with fractions that we want to solve, therefore we need a lowest common denominator. So again, any constant is a fraction over 1, so we need to think of the smallest number that 3, 6 and 1 all divide into. And that would be 6, as 3 divides in twice, 6 divides in once, and 1 divides in 6 times. So doing that now, we're going to divide in each denominator to our lowest common denominator and multiply by the top of the fraction. So 3 divides in 6 twice, multiply by the numerator. 6 divides in 6 once, multiply by the numerator. And 1 divides in 6 times, multiply by the numerator. So again, now we're at the point where we can drop our lowest common denominator to get a single line equation, and we're going to multiply out our brackets now to start to simplify. So 2 times minus x is minus 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 5x is 5x, 1 times 2 is 2, and 6 times 1 is 6. Again, we're at the stage now, add all your like terms together to start simplifying. So I have minus 2x plus 5x, which will leave me with 3x. And I have 4 plus 2, which will give me 6. And then on this side, I've still got my 6. Move the 6's over now to be together, so I want to isolate all x's on one side, numbers on the other. So that's going to leave me with 3x equals 6 minus 6. As I move that positive 6 over, it turns minus, which leaves me with 3x equals 0. Divide both sides by the coefficient, and that'll leave me with x equals 0. A 0 divided by 3 is just 0. Please rewind, pause, watch this video as many times as you need to. See that we're following the same steps each time once we get our lowest common denominator. Once you're happy enough that you have a good idea of what to do, please try the following questions. These questions are from your textbook. So question 7a is from page 189, chapter 2. And exercise 12.2, this is on page 65. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I will get back to you straight away. Thank you.